Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I hope the audio is working now. Is it working? All right. Okay, great. Sorry about that again. We actually reinstalled everything on the computer and tested it, but the meeting software just had some problems. So anyway, we're ready to go. Today we have a great webinar on doing keyword research and using SEO to improve your feedback there. Okay, great. So during this presentation, if anybody has any questions or comments, don't hesitate to just drop them in the chat, and we'll stop and talk about them a little bit. Okay. So first, why is the SEO important? Organic traffic has tremendous value. Google is a huge company and they make a ton of money off of ads, sending people that are searching for specific words to specific sites. And because they have such market domination, we're able to tell pretty clearly how much a keyword is worth, how much a click is worth, by looking at their ad system. And keywords, the value of them goes all over the place, from a couple pennies up to tens of dollars. Some really high value keywords for various like medical specialties, etc. $20, $50 a click even, which sounds insane, but if it's $1 million sale, it works out financially. So this organic traffic that you're building through your site, you can kind of gauge how much it's worth. So if a keyword on Google has a value of $2 per click, the value you can obtain from bringing in organic traffic can be very, very significant for your site. From a directory standpoint, business name searches, typically 85, 80%, but it really depends on the directory. But the thing with name searches is the searchers already have made their purchase decision. They're just looking, for this, and so that's great. You're sending the person that's purchasing where they want to go, but the real value is often in the category and keyword searches. If you're able to drive traffic and help people make those purchase decisions, there's enormous value there to your advertising. So keywords have this, internet searches have this long tail dynamic, which maybe some of you have heard of. It's kind of some internet digital marketing jargon, but basically the idea is that there's a head. Let's see if I can get my mouse to a pointer here. Emerson says, okay, good. So I can share Emerson's here. So here's the head on the chart. And before the internet, everybody was focused on marketing on the head. These are the few words and phrases that make up the vast majority of all internet searches. But then what happened was with Google, and you're able to advertise on very specific long tail keywords. This is the long tail, and if you notice this green part here, if you notice the dynamic of it, the tail is actually much bigger than the head. And so once Google, and actually the internet isn't just Google, but it's like websites in general, now you're able to build a niche site or a series of niche sites that targets a series of niche keywords and aggregate all of those long tail keywords. It often makes up more value than the head there. So when you're thinking about keywords in the long tail for your site, one-word phrases are often in the head. This is something like shoes. 2 to 3 word phrases, men's shoes. Those are still pretty high up there. And then you have many, many more descriptive phrases. Nike women's running shoes is an example. And as you go down the long tail, your site is probably more likely to be able to convert there on these keywords because they're not quite as competitive. And so it's really important that you think about these when you're doing your keyword analysis and thinking about your SEO, like what can I target? And just make a series of those, okay? So the head terms, there's typically hundreds of thousands of searches a month, highly competitive, difficult to convert. The body terms, 2 to 3 word combinations, 2,000-ish searches per month. And then the long tail keywords, much more specific than that. The thing to keep in mind is with most of these directory sites that are successful that we see set up, it's a good idea to spend your time on the body and the long tail instead of the head. Try to optimize for these long tail keywords, and you'll find that it's a game you can win, and you'll find success through that. Okay. One other thing to keep in mind is this idea of commercial intent. Commercial intent may actually be much more important than just search volume, just bringing in a lot of traffic. And certain keywords added to your main subject, like discount, price, etc., these will indicate that a customer, somebody that's searching, they intend to buy something. And so if you're able to target these keywords, often you can bring a lot more value to customers. Example would be like lawn service discount or something, discount lawn service, something like that. Somebody's looking to buy, they're ready to go, they're just looking for a good price. And if you're able to get those people into your website and convert them, you're more likely to have success. So determining keyword value, a great way to do that is to use, Google has this keyword planner with their Google AdWords program. And one thing I just want to mention is, if you're not familiar with AdWords, I highly recommend that even if you don't intend to spend money with Google, that you go in there and you learn how it works, at least at a minimum, just to kind of get around a little bit. You don't necessarily need to be an expert. But beyond that, if you are an expert, it's probably going to change the way that you think about a lot of things, about how you're optimizing. Obviously, it's better to get organic traffic instead of paid traffic. But the ad tools that they have are very sophisticated, and they can help you bring traffic and figure out what to target, figure out how much competition there is, what is this traffic worth. It'll give you an idea of, like, say a listing on your directory website is generating 5 leads a month, and 5 leads a month and say 50 clicks for an advertiser. That may give you some idea of what you can charge your advertisers. Just thinking, 50 clicks, Google, it's $1.50 on Google a click. That's $75 a month. I can price this listing at, $500 a year, and then go sell it as, hey, listen, we're giving you much more value than Google will. We guarantee that type of thing. So that's great. All right. So the keyword analysis process, basically what you want to do is start with a base keyword list. Just sit there and write it. It's not that difficult to do, certainly. You probably know the subject area of your directory site pretty well. So just do some brainstorming, go through, write everything that you're thinking about targeting. Then what you want to do is and as you write that base list, you also probably want to look at the competitors. You can do a density analysis on competing websites, et cetera, see what they're targeting. You can see what words they missed. Those may be the ones you really want to focus on, et cetera. Then after you've got your base list, then what you can do is broaden it using related searches techniques. So the way to do that is, I'll tell you this here in just a second, is if you go to Google, at the bottom of a Google search, it says related searches, and also there's the suggestion drop-down box. The autocomplete suggestion box on Google is fantastic for figuring out what related searches are available. And then also you can refine this list using the keyword planner, which I'll show you here in a second. All right. So for writing a base list, there's no secret to that. Just sit there and do it. Just write it. If you're doing wedding, for instance, if your site is on that topic, just go. Wedding dress, bride, groom, wedding shoes, bridesmaids, blah, blah, blah. Then you go for it. So the related searches techniques, note the autocomplete and keyword planner to tightly related keywords. Those are Google's tools. Related searches at the bottom of search results is good. There's also other techniques like searching for a term, searching for Google for like Wikipedia plus the term, or a term plus forum, and then browsing around some of these other things. So you can use Google and search like, say wedding forum or something, and it's probably going to show some websites, that have wedding forums and stuff running already. And then you can go in there and look at the forum categories. Forums are great because they've already put together a taxonomy, and many forums were kind of put together sort of haphazardly, organically. So it's a really good way to sort of check and see what people are thinking by going to forums. All right. Okay, so let's do an example. I don't know if we're able to. You can pull that up over here. Right? Okay, now what we're gonna do is just give you an example. We're gonna log in. Okay, so now what we're at is the Google AdWords Keyword Planner. And let me come here. So, and actually, before we do this, we may just go to Google and show them the full. Let's show them the Google suggestions as well.
Yeah, just open a new tab.
I'll open up a new tab here. Google.com. Okay, great. So we're on Google. We're just going to do an example of just doing some keyword analysis for you. So I'll do weddings, and if somebody wants to pop in a specific suggestion, I can run it. You can just drop it right in the chat there. But I'll just do weddings because that's kind of a good one that people are very familiar with. So weddings, and then you can see right here all of the suggested keywords: wedding shoes, wedding dresses, wedding rings, wedding crashers, wedding vows, songs, etc. For weddings. So, and then after you hit, after you do the search for weddings, all right, search for that, okay. Then the related searches are down here at the bottom, right? So they also show a set of related searches here. And then you can kind of keep doing this to get your list. And basically, you just want to build a big list. And as you do this, you can look for these longer tail keywords here, such as wedding reception, wedding party, wedding ideas, program, order events. Okay, I got a couple other ideas here. We got one on restaurants. Restaurants is another good one. Let me just quickly pop in restaurants, and I can probably. Restaurants. So restaurants, you can see what people are looking for. Near me, nearby, São Paulo. These are just locations. It happens to be because our browser here is in Brazil, so some of these are Brazilian locations. Some of these are not. Restaurants. Let's search for restaurants near me. These are all kind of location-based. Let's do restaurant, pizza, maybe, or cuisine type. All right. Restaurants, delivery, express, and city names. So it looks like with restaurants, it's often restaurant plus city is what a lot of people are searching for. Let's see what else. It's another restaurant term, like probably types of cuisine, I would imagine. Let's see. Italian restaurant. Italian restaurants plus neighborhood. So it looks like restaurant searches are often restaurant plus city. So those are probably fairly easy to optimize for. Restaurant plus city, cuisine plus city, etc. for that. That's great. All right. Okay, so anyway, okay, so after you've had your list, weddings is a little bit broader. It looks like the sort of the stuff that's around here that's available, like wedding shoes. Let's see what longer tails let's see how far down we can go on wedding shoes. Here's some great keywords. Look at this. Wedding shoes wedges. I don't even know what that is. You know what a wedding shoe wedges is? I'm going to look at a picture of that. Oh, I guess it's a type of shoe maybe that looks like a wedge. That's great. So this gives you a whole bunch of long tail ideas. And especially, I just looked at the images, and you can even get more long tail ideas from right here at the top of at the top of the image search, where they sort of categorize them: wedding shoes sandal, wedding shoes pump, wedding shoes sneaker, etc. These are some other ways that you can do it. Wedding shoes, and then I'm going to use the other technique too. We can use forum. And I just want to show you this forum technique as well. This is not an image search. This is wedding shoes. Here's a wedding shoes forum. So you can search for this. Let me see if any of these look good. Wedding wires, probably. It looks like it might have a forum here. Here's my wedding shoes that came in today. Heels, flats. You can just kind of troll through this and reception sneakers. I'm a runner. Laces with ribbon, etc. So you can just look through these, and you're going to just experiment and find like tons and tons of long tail keywords. And then after that, the next step is you can go to AdWords here, Google AdWords. Just get an account there. I don't even think you have to put money in it, right? They'll even give you a couple bucks, I think, when you sign up. But these things are really great because they give you metrics and forecasts. So wedding, let's start with wedding just to kind of give you an example, and then we'll get started, and then I'll start breaking it down into some of these more detailed ones here. So you can see kind of the trends for this, like is the search is growing or falling. Interestingly, look at the bump here in January. I guess a lot of people get engaged, I imagine, in December, end of the year, New Year's, hey, let's get married. I actually did that myself. So anyway, but then you go down in here in the keywords, and they can tell you how many average monthly searches and whether the competition is low or high. And then you get the bids, low bid range to high bid range. So like, boom, you can try to target wedding. This is a head keyword, $1 to $12 a click. Like that's gonna if you're able to kill it on wedding and be at the top, your site is going to be worth a ton of money. But it's really hard to do. So anyway, if you go down here, wedding table decorations, you can see that the volume is lower. And the price point is different, but this one also the competition is high, and the reason probably is what wedding table decorations probably has more commercial intent than just wedding. Like wedding is really broad, so there's probably not so much commercial intent to it. Wedding veil, etc. Let me go up and put in wedding shoes here. And is this thing here going to update? What I'm going to do? Okay. So these are wedding shoes and related keywords around them. Wedding shoes, wedding flats. You can see kind of the value in all of these. And from here, what you want to do is just silver wedding shoes, etc. So if you go through here, okay, I really want to optimize my content. You can go in and look at all these keywords and then just try to make content around those in your website, whether these are listings or articles, blog entries.
Yeah, they can use this structure, this platform to discover keywords to write blog posts.
That's right.
That will drive traffic.
That will drive traffic. Yeah. So if you just if you write a blog post about gold wedding shoes, you could probably write a post of that and just have 30 photos of gold wedding shoes with different little descriptions on it, and I suspect that's going to drag in some traffic there. And then you can look at how many clicks using your, figure out how much traffic you're getting off of that, and figure out what value you're generating with it. So, Yeah, so that's pretty much it, I guess, for the keyword analysis. And then the question is how you do your content around it. Blog posts, those are great. Listings, when you're writing listing descriptions. Photos drive so much traffic and so much interest on the internet. This is why sites like Instagram historically have been acquired for a lot of money because it's visual and everything. Spend time doing that. Video as well is great. It's a little bit more difficult to produce, etc. Video, but certainly if you have videos about your content areas, those will certainly drive traffic. And one other technique that we often recommend is just doing a curation, where you can put these keywords in and find news, and then repost summaries to this other content on the internet. In a daily post like this week's wedding news, and then just find other posts that link to some of this stuff, curate it, and then send it out, post it on your website, post it on social media, etc. So, yeah, so I think that's. Do you have anything else to add here? Are there any questions? Does anybody have any questions or anything they'd like to ask about, or any opinions, anything at all? No, none so far. Okay, yeah. Well, I don't know if we have. So this is pretty much the keyword analysis, right? Do we have,
Yeah.
No. Okay. Yeah. So this is pretty much what we have, I guess, for keyword analysis, how to do it, and really, it's just a grind to do it, and I'd say do it 2 times. Like really get in there once and try to do it, and then after you have your site up, your content up, etc., you've kind of figured out what is driving traffic, what's been successful on your website, then you probably want to run it again. And at that point, you'll probably learn a little bit more, but stay on it. And really, it's about producing the content, getting content up there, and that'll drive traffic every time. So, yeah. So I think that's pretty much our content for today's webinar. If anybody has any questions or any comments, I want to apologize to everybody for the technical problems. 100% guarantee we'll get those resolved for the next one. And as always, if anybody has anything they want us to go over in a webinar, just send us an email. I'll put in my email here. You can just send me an email. I used Emerson's name to post it there, but yeah, we're happy. We're constantly looking for new ideas to put in the webinar. Okay. Okay. Well, great. Thanks for joining us today, and have a great afternoon.